Are you guys ready for the Executor to take over Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes? The Empire has arrived, and this ship, as we feared or hoped, whichever side of the fence you're on, it's gonna be devastatingly OP. My biggest concern reading this kit is, how is everyone gonna survive that doesn't have it? And I think that it's gonna be very challenging. So once again, let me iterate at the beginning of this video. Please freaking farm for the Executor if you care about your competitive viability in Grand Arena and Territory Wars. So I've had a chance to look over the kit early and to put together an analysis on this. So this is going to be a little different than our normal kit review videos. I've actually had some time to really think about this instead of just reading it and reacting to it live for you guys right now. And so some big immediate thoughts after looking at this kit. This has the coolest, and you'll see this has the coolest ultimate ability I have ever seen in this game. Probably the coolest ability. It includes the Death Star, which is it's amazing. The first time I saw it, I think my knees got weak. And it's ridiculously OP. There is a ton of breached synergy on this ship, and we will break down just how deep that synergy rabbit hole goes. And there's a lot of health recovery, a lot of damage, mass assist potential, and a lot of synergy with bounty hunters as we expected. A little bit of synergy with the Empire, but I really feel like, and you guys will see once we reveal this, the synergy with Empire feels just more like out of duty, like it's an Empire ship, so we got to put Empire synergy in there. But bounty hunters are going to be where this ship shines. So let's get into the nitty-gritty, Cubs fam. The basic ability is called Unorthodox Methods. Deal physical damage and inflict exposed for 1 turn on target enemy. Deal 5% more damage for each active Empire ally. So there's your Empire synergy, but then deal 25% more damage for each active bounty hunter ally. So you see right there already, we got a little bit of bias on the basic. Not that you can use basics a ton with your capital ships, but good to know. Special one is where it gets interesting, and this is called Breach of Protocols. You got a 4-turn cooldown here. Deal physical damage to all enemies. If the target enemy is target locked, remember Empire, obviously they got lots of target lock synergy, call all Empire allies to assist, dealing 30% less damage. That's nice, right? But if the target enemy is breached, you call all bounty hunter allies to assist, dealing 10% more damage. Now, when I first read this, I assumed that was 10% less damage, but the bias is a 40% swing. 30% less damage for Empire, 10% more damage for the bounty hunters. And so you can see here right now, they're definitely telling you you're going to want to use bounty hunters here. All right, Special 2 is called We Only Need to Keep Them from Escaping. This has a 5-turn cooldown. Bounty hunter allies gain potency up for 1 turn. That's huge. We'll talk about it. Dispel, outmaneuver, and stealth from all enemies. Wow. So we're calling out MILF, right? The Millennium Falcon specifically getting targeted here, along with Malevolence fleets with all their stealth. Very, very big call-outs there that's going to make things tricky to attack this ship. And you're going to dispel all debuffs from bounty hunter allies. So you got a mass cleanse. You've got dispelling, stealth, and outmaneuver on the other side, along with potency up for bounty hunter allies. And then if that's not enough for you, target ally recovers 100% health and protection. And if the target ally is a bounty hunter, they also gain foresight and taunt for 2 turns. This is going to be obviously something you're going to want to give to Houndstooth, and this is going to make Houndstooth that much more difficult to get through. Now, you're probably going to want to use this ability first if you've got your own Executors, and the big reason for that is because you got that potency up, which is going to make it more likely that you're able to land target lock and breach, which does 2 things for you. Obviously, in the first special there, if you attack somebody with target lock or with breach, either Empire or bounty hunters will assist. So obviously, I'm probably going to lean towards attacking somebody with breach so we can get all of those bounty hunters attacking. But something we're going to talk about here in a second is that breach is the ticket to unlocking this ultimate ability, which is absolutely devastating. So you're going to want to land as many breach as possible. So without any further ado, let's get into this nasty ultimate ability, something special planned. Now, this has a 30-turn cooldown unless you're at max rank, and then it will become a 20-turn cooldown. And this animation, guys, before we read any text, I'm going to show you guys this animation. Just observe. Oh my gosh. Have you ever seen anything like this in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes? When Crumb first showed me this animation, my knees went weak, and I had to pay my respects to RNGesus. I was actually at a family reunion watching this, and I think I audibly screamed, and everyone's like, what are you looking at? I'm like, it's NDA, I can't talk about it. Destroy the enemy capital ship, which if you guys didn't observe that already, and stun all enemies for 1 turn. This is a Haldo maneuver, but you keep your ship, and if that's not enough, you stun everybody who remains. And if that's not enough, allies are going to gain protection up 35% for 2 turns. How do you come back from that? If there's no enemy capital ship, destroy all active enemy ships instead. Now, I would be shocked if you were able to proc this ultimate ability twice. I actually asked the devs in my interview if they ever saw that happen, so stay tuned for the interview, and they kind of break that down. It's an interesting caveat to see, indeed. This ability can't be evaded or resisted, starts on cooldown, and is reduced by 1 each time breach is inflicted on an enemy ship. And so you are going to want to fill your squad with as much breach as possible so that you can get that ultimate ability to pop. So let's talk about the crew ability, Vader's Bounty. This is also very OP. We're going to have a taunt ignore capability in here with a little condition on it, and a lot of good buffs coming to Bounty Hunter. So Bounty Hunter allies, plus 35% max health, max protection, and offense. And ignore taunt on crewless or droid ships. So basically, Malevolence, sorry, we don't care about you anymore. You're going to get obliterated by this ship. At the start of battle, Bounty Hunter allies gain tenacity up for 2 turns, and Empire allies gain we don't need this scum for the rest of the battle, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. Whenever an enemy reinforces, Bounty Hunter allies gain evasion up for 1 turn. Whenever an ally applies breach, they dispel all debuffs on themselves. So there's a lot to unpack there. Obviously, we do have a locked buff for the Empire, which is actually a pretty good buff, and it connects to bounty hunters. Whenever they die, we get some bonuses for Empire. So I don't think there's going to be no value in having Empire. I just think that based on the way this kit is functioning, there's so much more value in having bounty hunters that I think that's probably where everyone's going to lean for it. But maybe you'll throw one, maybe you'll have your TIE bomber in there or something like that, and that we don't need their scum buff will be valuable. But just look at how much breach is doing here, guys. Is to me, it's crazy how much breach is doing for this team. Number 1, it's charging the ultimate ability up. Number 2, what we just had in this crew ability is it cleanses the ship that applied it. So you're going to charge up the ult. You're going to cleanse yourself. You're going to create opportunities for mass assist. It's going to create opportunities for the Razor Crest to mark on his basic ability. It's going to create chances for IG-2000 to basic twice when he attacks a breached enemy with his basic, or with his special, it's going to give him 50% more damage. There's just so much going on with the whole breach synergy here that I just think that debuff is going to be absolutely insane in these fleets. So, all right, now the crew ability is not over yet. Whenever a bounty hunter ally deals damage with a basic ability, they inflict target lock on target enemy for 1 turn. And then this text here gets a little confusing. I'll interpret it for you if it makes you go a little cross-eyed, but here's the text. The first time allies inflict target lock 20 times on enemies, each active enemies who are called in for reinforcements or summoned are inflicted with breach or target lock. These effects can't be dispelled, evaded, or resisted, and last until the end of battle. So basically, anytime you apply target lock, you are also going to apply breach on that target enemy. That is opening up the door for Empire to also contribute to adding breach to the field of play, which is, again, contributing to how fast that ultimate ability is going to be able to charge. But notice, it's only the first 20 times. And so that condition applies for 20 breaches, basically, and then it goes away. But also notice that ultimate ability, I don't think this is a coincidence, will be on a 20-turn cooldown once you have the ship maxed. So that's pretty cool as well. All right, let's finish this out with going over the reinforcement bonus and that unique buff that Empire and allies will get. The reinforcement bonus is actually really interesting. It has some pretty big implications for the mirror match. Reinforcements gain breach immunity and chaff for 2 turns, which chaff target lock immunity. So what you're looking at here is all of the things that make the Executor hum, your team can't be inflicted with for 2 turns. And so when you're in that mirror match, I think that's definitely going to come into play, slow down that ultimate from popping for both teams. And so I think that's going to be interesting to observe. And then, of course, Empire allies are going to gain the we don't need their scum buff, which is a locked buff. Immune to turn meter manipulation. And then here's the bounty hunter clause. Whenever a bounty hunter ally is defeated, recover 25% health and protection. TIE Advanced instead recovers 10% health and protection. So interesting call out to TIE Advanced specifically. I really don't think that's going to be a huge deal, but the more that I kind of read over this kit, the more it felt to be like we've got a kit here that is a bounty hunter kit, but it's an Empire ship, and so we've got to find ways to include the Empire here. We're kind of inviting them to the party, but we're not really bringing them into the club, if that makes sense. Now, that is not everything coming with the Executor. We also have a touch-up of Boba Fett's ship, Slave 1, which was going to add a lot of Breach synergy, basically, because when we got Slave 1, Breach wasn't in the game. So let me read over these changes for you. I'm showing you the basic ability right now. And all that it is adding on the basic ability is this text here that is in red. If the target enemy is breached, dispel all buffs on them. And so you're going to dispel when they are breached. And then we have a completely new, unique ability. Let's read over this. This is called No Good to Me Dead. At the start of the battle, or when reinforced, for each active enemy, Slave 1 gains 5% offense, 2% crit chance, and 5 speed for the rest of the battle. And keep in mind, if you've got the Executor, Slave 1 is going to be a Relic 8 ship because you're going to have to relicate your Boba Fett. So I think Slave 1's going to feel a little bit different here, guys. The first time all enemy ships are breached while Slave 1 is active, or if Slave 1 enters the battle while all enemy ships are breached, seismic charges cooldown is reset. Include Boba Fett as a reinforcement. Wait until everyone's breached and come out there and just pop them with seismic charge instantly. That sounds juicy. And then also we got this clause here. While Slave 1 is active, breached enemies deal 50% less damage when they attack out of turn. Very, very solid. And then we're adding a little bit of a caveat here to their reinforcement bonus as well. We'll show that now. Slave 1 gains an additional protection up 20% per breached enemy. And so we're adding a lot of breach synergy here with Boba Fett. He's not, going to be able to apply breach in additional areas, but with the way that the kits are functioning here, he's going to still be able to apply breach based on the unique abilities of other ships. So lots of stuff going on here, ladies and gentlemen. And so let's just review here. We've got so much going on with breach. Here, how are you going to apply breach in this game right now? Obviously, you've got a special ability on Razor Crest, which is going to apply breach. You got a special ability for Houndstooth, which is going to apply breach. Basic ability on Xandu Blood, which is also really important. You're going to have the ability to apply breach when you pop those target locks as well. You're going to have the reinforcement bonus on Xandu Blood. And let's not forget that Razor Crest has his special ability, which gives everybody, his crew ability, which allows everybody to apply breach on their special abilities. And so basically every single ability that your bounty hunters are using, their basic abilities and their special abilities, all have at least one chance to apply breach, sometimes multiple chances to apply breach. And so include that potency up that you're getting from the second special of the Executor. And I think you're going to see almost every single turn Breach is going to pop. That's going to have so many different synergies, which we already talked about, and it's going to make that ultimate ability very quick to charge. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you guys think about all this business. I am sure there's going to be some concern and apprehension. I feel it too. I'm excited to get this ship. I've got a lot of excitement for my account personally, but I'm concerned about the health of the game, of course, because how is it going to... This is already a game mode a lot of people aren't that excited about. How is it going to feel if you don't have this ship right now? And based on how OP this kit is, I have a feeling it's not going to feel great. And so that's why I keep pushing. So that's why I keep pushing, farm the ship. And obviously I didn't know exactly what the kit would be when I started doing that. Was just going off the Rex, but we're seeing right now, obviously, of course, we have got the kit here in front of us, and it looks devastating. We will be testing this live as the event goes out. We will be taking the ship to max stars. So be here on my stream as we get to that. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comments below, and stay tuned for my dev interview, which will be hitting very soon. Thank you guys so much for joining me for the video. I appreciate all of your support. Like the videos if you do enjoy them. It helps more than you guys know. And as always, my brothers, don't forget,